What is up, guys? We're back for another. This is going to be a fun show. I'm not bringing the heavy-hearted stuff today. Yesterday, I had a I was low-key embarrassed. Like, fuck, I had a meltdown in front of the camera. But it was just a really sensitive subject, and I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to talk about Black culture today. I'm just going to talk about the leaders. Mm-hmm. The leaders are shitty. I was actually did a show earlier with the Hit Squad, and what's up, everybody? Marlon played this video, and I hadn't even heard it. I hadn't watched any of this. I hadn't heard it, and I was like, "What?" And they sat there and let this old white man just talk crazy mess to them.
Mm-hmm. Just like typical oppressed Negroes.
I'm going to play a portion of the video that we're talking about so you guys can all know what we're talking about. This is crazy. Everybody, do me a favor. Share this because I'm not on my main page. I'm on my backup page. I'm on my YouTube, my backup Facebook. Please do me a favor. Share this live to as many people as you can. I'm going to go ahead and start a watch party on my main page so everybody can see it. I can't start a watch party? What the heck?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's weird. It took my abilities away. Cash is busy, so he won't be here.
Shout out to Cash. Shout out to Cash.
Why can't I see it? Okay.
Where is...
Sorry, I'm trying to get this. This is crazy. It won't let me start a watch party.
Hello, folks that's tuned in right now. How are y'all doing out there?
Hey, we got people from VA, Kentucky. Hi, guys. Love you too, Robert.
Yeah. Let me see. Boom.
What do you mean, dang? What'd I do? I probably was taking forever. I had to take care of some stuff. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but I'm here. I'm going to play this video. You guys can see what I'm talking about. When I was listening to this, I was like, boy, these people here on the outside, these are field Negroes. And you got the good old girl, Camel Toe Harris, in the middle with the slave master. Now you're going to understand why I said that. I'm about to play it.
Americans are dying was 3 times that of white people. That's because a friend of mine, a white guy who happens to be, as you well know, Derek, the mayor of the city of Detroit, called me to tell me about it. I insisted that we keep a record on everything that happened since then. Guys, guess what I'm saying, guys, is, I mean what I say. The hard part here is I'm going to have a lot of trouble. We're going to have a lot of trouble getting a lot of this done with this Congress. And so the question is, for example, I'm going to be appointing at least, and look, the reason I'm not telling you who the other black made cabinet positions I'm going to appoint are is because it'll get out. And guess what? I can't defend them. They're going to be out there by themselves without any defense before their name. They're going to get ripped to shreds. That's why I'm going to wait. You will be pleased, I believe. You will be pleased to see there'll be more African Americans in major positions within a cabinet in major spots and more Hispanics in major spots than ever in American history. That's going to happen. I promise you that. And the other thing is, for example, thus far, for example, when we went ahead and we made sure that, I have as, the Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen, but at number 2 is Wally Adeyemo, an African American, who is the number 2 guy with real authority at that department. Look underneath just what we're doing in addition to the people we've already named. You're going to see people, look, and Cecilia Rouse, Cece, she is a significant player. That's a serious position. But it's like when I named her, well, I don't know if that counts. I'm not so sure. Well, if it doesn't count for y'all, well, the hell with y'all. But because it's real, it's real. So all I'm saying is look at us, judge us based on what we do. You're going to see more coming your way. And not only that, within the White House as well. Cedric is the best. Cedric's been with me from the beginning. And Cedric is going to be overseeing a great deal of this, and not all his responsibility, but he's in every single meeting. He's an assistant to the president. He's in every single meeting in the White House, period. And so what we're going to be doing here is making sure that we have diverse hiring, not only and for the main cabinet position and the sub-cabinet positions, but down the line. It's going to make a big difference, and within the White House as well. Assistant to the president, there's only 6 of those slots. It matters. And by the way, I think you're going to see, I always kid Kamala by say this, but we're going to have more women than men, as it's looking like now. Okay, that's good, because I'm surrounded by women smarter than me, starting off with my wife and my sister. But all kidding aside, this is going to be fully across the board. I'm going to keep the commitment that I said. And here's the thing. Al, Reverend Al, I think you're right about this. It matters what a president says. And if you notice, I am not mincing my words when I speak about what I plan on doing as president of the United States. The only thing I'm not doing is I'm not engaging in retribution. I am not deciding that the way to win is to go after hate with hate. We have to convince people. We have to move them. And one of the overwhelming reasons I won, by the way, is because we took on racism in suburbia. White women overwhelmingly voted with me, and black women were the 2 places where it was overwhelming, because we spoke to those concerns. And Vanita, you know what I'm talking about. You and I have talked before. I don't carry around a stamp on my head saying progressive and I'm AOC, but I have more of a record of getting things done in the United States Congress than anybody you know. Anybody you know of getting things accomplished. And that sounds so self-serving. I know that, but this is going to really be hard. This is going to really be hard. And let me conclude and turn it over to Kamala, who says, what the hell am I doing with this guy right now? But all kidding aside, I've known you my whole life, most of you.
This is where it gets
I've worked
good.
with you my whole life, most of you. I've been around doing this for a long time. I don't always get it right, but I always take responsibility. When I get it wrong, I acknowledge I got it wrong.
Lies.
But my overarching objective, if we cannot make significant progress on racial equity, this country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be.
Did he say what I heard him say?
Oh, let's run it back.
Yeah, run that back. I must have
You
missed
guys
that
hear
part.
that?
Run that back. Hold on, I was writing down some notes, but that got my attention.
I'm gonna run back.
We cannot make significant progress on racial equity. This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans.
All right, you heard that. Now watch this. You see this sucker over here? Watch him.
But because
Watch this dude.
by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do in terms of raw numbers. We're going to have to be working with a whole group of people that, in fact, are the single most diverse democracy in American history and anywhere in the world. And we got to figure out how to unify this country. And you've been the leaders of being able to do that. Not a joke. And so there's some things that I'm going to be able to do by executive order. I'm not going to hesitate to do it. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do what used to, Vanita, you probably used to get angry with me during the debates, when you'd have some of the people you were supporting say, on day one, I'm going to executive order to do this. not within the constitutional authority. I am not going to violate the Constitution. Executive authority that my progressive friends talk about is way beyond the bounds. And as one of you said, maybe you, Reverend Al, well, whether it's far left or far right, there is a Constitution. It's our only hope, our only hope. And the way to deal with it is where I have executive authority, I will use it to undo every single damn thing this guy has done by executive authority.
All right. All right. Hold on. I gotta adjust myself. Did you all just see what I saw? I see a group of Black leaders whom I have no fucking idea who they are. The only person I know here is Sharpton, the race baiter. And I see all of them bowing down and being subservient to these two fucktards. Okay? I see a group of field niggas. This is what this looks like. I'm not even being, I'm being funny, but I'm so serious. Mm-hmm. This is a plantation right here. I see a group of field niggas. Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir, massa. And I see this one who's not even Black. The house Negro. All of them just sitting there listening to him talk to them like they're fucking nothing, bro. And you idiots voted for this dude while you painted another man racist.
Mm-hmm. It is 10 people in that Zoom meeting. Biden has spoke more than every last one of them put together. He exceeded over the time that he said he was going to talk. He was obviously disrespectful, and these Negroes, this is why we can't call these Negroes leaders. This is why we can't, because everything he just said, they sat there and shut their mouths. Would have came from Donald Trump, what would have happened?
Oh, it would have been on. I think he's freezing.
How would they have responded to Donald Trump if Donald Trump would have said to them?
Oh, he would have been racist. He would have been everything in the book.
Yeah, you got to forget my AT&T connection.
Listen,
if
this is irrelevant to you, if this is irrelevant to you, then I suggest you not watch this episode, because this is waking people up to who they voted for. Joe Biden was not this vocal. He was silent the entire campaign. And you have people that aren't as and mentally in tune with politics, and they're just voting because, hey, the media said this dude is bad. My mom says this dude is bad. My family feels like Trump is racist, so maybe he's racist. Not everybody goes that extra step, which they should, to research the candidate. This man is racist, bro.
Yeah, and he hides his racism in plain sight. That's what he does. He hides it in plain sight. So he said in this Zoom meeting that it matters what the president says, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he said that he also is around women that's smarter than him. Mm-hmm. If it matters what a president says, during the debate, the president of the United States told Joe Biden not to use the word smart. Mm. Why is Joe Biden using the word smart? There's nothing smart about him.
No.
Not a damn thing. Everybody in this meeting is probably smarter than him. The only difference is they are under that mindset that they used during the 60s, during the time that they wanted that welfare, and felt like it was going to lift Black people out of poverty. Mm-hmm. And it has done nothing but been detrimental to the Black community. It has done nothing but further divided this country, Democrats. And I don't think these type of Negroes that's in this Zoom meeting don't understand when somebody says that I want to be able to get you guys back to work versus sitting on your couch and receiving a monthly check from your white daddy via the government. I take great issue with this. I had made a rant about it on my page, and I don't know if anybody understood the reason why I was upset. Because, like I said and I watched the entire thing. I guess I missed the part when he was talking about how black people are going to be the cause of the destruction of this country. I could have sworn that's what he said. I might be paraphrasing.
No,
but that's what he said.
back. He said this country is doomed.
Yeah,
and not just because of black people.
Yeah. So if everything, if what the president says matters, why would he say something like that? I don't think he thinks before he speaks. Now, I'm a Trump guy, and I've always thought Trump had a very poor choice of words, but I give him a pass because he's not a politician, right? But he does care about the American people, and he has proven that. But Joe Biden, for him to have the long-running career that he has, and his choice of words, still to this day, he know he can get away with. And these Negroes, who I gotta look these individuals up. I wish this Zoom meeting was much more clearer so I could identify, see their actual faces.
I don't know who the fuck these people are.
The only person I know is Al skinny ass mannequin Dow looking Al Sharpton.
See if this is clear. Somebody recorded this, or is it what? Let me see.
But I have more of a record.
Nah, it's still blurry.
And I think this is probably about the only copy of the Zoom meeting that's on the internet. Because I think we all watching it. I think we all looked at the same thing. Is this the Zoom meeting that they did not want to get released to the public? Because I know this is supposed to be private. But when you're the president of the United States, ain't nothing private.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I think
fact checkers got onto this and said this is missing context. Not even kidding right now.
Really?
I'm about to pull it up so you can see it. They said, fact check, Joe Biden did not say the U.S. is doomed because this is what they said. Joe Biden did not say the U.S. is doomed because the U.S. will be minority non-Hispanic. Yes, he did.
I could have sworn he said. Are we crazy?
Do I need to run it back?
What did we just hear that got our attention? Are we crazy or something?
Crazy.
The Facebook fact checkers, the YouTube fact checkers, which fact checkers said that he didn't say that? Because I could have sworn that's what I just heard.
Lead stories. Don't believe me? I'm about to show y'all. This group said that we don't know what we heard. He didn't say that.
Fact checker Biden did not say the U.S. is doomed because the U.S. will be minority, non-Hispanic, white in the near future. He did not say. So what did he say?
I don't know.
So I want the fact checkers to explain what did he mean when he said that? Because when you look at the history of the racist things that came out of his mouth, I think he knew what he was saying because he said he means what he say, right?
I mean what I say, and I say what I mean.
Exactly. He sounds like a pretty stand-up guy to me. So that means everything he says, damn it, he stands by that.
Okay. This is what he said.
This country is doomed. It is doomed. Not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority, white, European.
So does that not mean they are going to fade out and we're going to take over this shit? Is that not what that means?
So what he's saying is that he's going to wipe out all the black people by 2040. That's their goal. That's their goal, black leaders. You old ass oppressed Negroes, we shall overcome as Negroes. I take great issue with these old ass 50-year-olds and up who preach the same message that they've been preaching during the days of Dr. King. I take great issue with those individuals, the ones that's living today, because they want people like me and you, Sunni. They want people like me and you to carry the same mentality and pass it down to our children. And if we don't, then we are the Uncle Toms and the Coons of the world, because we believe we'd rather support a president who wants to uphold the Constitution, look out for the American people, do what's right by the American people, put this nation first. And because we see that and we notice that time has changed, this country has changed for the better. But the minds of these Negroes have not changed. And their behavior has gotten a lot worse statistically. And when you do the eyeball test, just going to the communities and looking around, you can see. And this is all post welfare state. All post welfare state. But then they get mad at me. They get mad at you. We the sellouts. Nigga, we trying to help y'all.
Facts.
White liberals too. We trying to help y'all. But y'all mentalities is all screwed up, and y'all don't see it. They just don't see it. I wish we had more liberals watching.
I do too.
I wish we had
these
more
are the people we need. Like, as much as I don't want to be around Leland, I want to hear his criticism of this.
Mm-hmm. He's not going to have any criticism.
There's no way you can say, well, so he said, Joe Biden said, this country is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority. Minority. They're the majority right now. Minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working with more Hispanics who make up a larger portion than y'all do. Then he said again, they're more diverse than us.
Let's look 20 years from now, 2040. By the time 2040 come around, we'll still be fairly young. We'll probably be only about 50.
Yes.
Still fairly young. You know, I'm expecting to be alive, well, and healthy by the time I'm still 50. I don't know where he will be at 40 years from now with the clock ticking down on him. I don't know if he got 40 years left. So I don't know if he's in a moral position to make that call and what's going to happen in the next 20 years. Now his crackhead son might still be around if he don't overdose. You know, Hunter might still be around. But I don't see how people don't take issue with this. And the fact that a lot of people my age, a lot of cats that I went to high school with, you know, the ones who be on my Facebook want to call me a coon and just name call. It really bothers me that
sorry to cut you off. This guy, you're not a coon for your political views alone. When you say the past doesn't matter, that's clown shit. Nobody ever said the past don't matter.
I didn't say the past did not matter.
Nobody ever said that.
No, but when you stuck in the past, that becomes a damn problem. When you stuck with that slave mentality, the ones that y'all gaslight and say that when y'all project that we are on this plantation, but we're not the ones sitting around saying that we can't be anything in this nation because we are black. Our blackness is not a handicap. It's not. Y'all the ones who sit there and say things like that, Larry. And I think we had a discussion with you earlier. Ain't you a rapper of some kind? But your Facebook page don't really have too much up. You're not promoting yourself the way you should be as a rapper or as a businessman or whatever you do in terms of real estate.
It's the same dude.
Yeah. So if I don't know where your mentality is because I haven't spoken to you directly, I only know what you post in the comment section. But obviously you are somewhat interested in the things that we're talking about because this is not the first time I've seen you on Sunni's podcast, you know, interacting. So I do appreciate you trying to get this red pill, trying to get this information. Okay. But I never once said that the past did not matter. I would never say that the past doesn't matter. The past matter. It matters a great deal. History matters. Mankind matters. The origin of man matters. Yes, it does. Okay. So, but I do take issue with the motherfuckers from the past. I'm sorry, Sony. I don't know if I can curse.
Nah, you're good.
Because I ain't trying to get you banned because I know that Facebook be on your ass. But I do. Yeah, Larry, jump on the show. But I do take issue with these Negroes like the Jesse Jacksons and the Al Sharptons. And what's that one name? The lady Maxine Waters. Who would tell Negroes to go out on the street and commit crimes to get themselves further more in trouble with the law, to get them put in prison, to increase this mass incarceration that the white man is just throwing black people in jail for. You know, I do take issues with these people with these wrinkles in their faces who preach this message. I take great issue with that, and I will always take great issue with that because people like me, because I'm always thinking about the next generation. I'm not necessarily thinking about the right now. You know, I'm not thinking about the right now so much. I'm thinking about what can we do to benefit people in the future. I'm thinking about the future the way that they was thinking about the future back in the 60s when they wanted, you know, equality across the board for Negroes. But now that we have that equality, you know what's crazy is that like these black leaders, these so-called black leaders, they was making so much money off of that oppression that they was preaching, and that became their main source of income. So in order to keep their income, in order to keep their head above water, they're going to keep preaching the same message. But as time goes on and as new generations come about, we get smarter. We get more intelligent. So it's going to be a lot of us that stands up and be like, no, fuck this shit, bruh. I'm not going to keep going with this shit because every time, because people like me and Sunni, we look at the facts. We love facts. We love information. We love the truth. The truth is not to be believed. The truth is to be accepted. Okay. You can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. Believe it all day. You know, so that's why everybody have different religions and different faiths. But the truth is that black people, we spend our spending habits collectively, our spending habits is a lot more than any other group of people in this nation. Walter Williams said, and I'm paraphrasing here, this might not be his exact words, but God rest his soul. Walter Williams has said in an interview that if black people looked at themselves as a separate nation from everybody else in the world, black people in America looked at themselves as a separate nation from everybody in the world, they would easily be the 16th or 17th richest nation on the face of the earth, easily. But we have terrible spending habits. We don't have financial literacy within the black community. We don't want to hear about it. It's not good to walk around with cash on you. You know, I don't know why a lot of people, it's still a lot of people that don't even have bank accounts, that don't have debit cards, credit cards. They don't know the first thing about credit. And that's the fault of our parents, because a lot of us, we go into adulthood as black folks, we go into adulthood and we don't know shit. Our parents have not taught us anything that we need to know to really survive in the world. They think putting clothes on our back and feeding us is enough. First of all, that's part of your obligation and duty as a parent.
Yep.
Everything else that you need to teach us, you know, it's crazy because I don't know how everybody else's situation is, but I learned later on in life, like in the recent years, I've learned that all the things that my mother should have taught me, she didn't.
Yep, it's facts.
It was just more so do what I say when I say it. And when you turn 18, you ain't no benefit to me no more because you are no longer on my welfare case. So therefore, get the fuck out of my house.
Wow.
You know, and I'm pretty sure it's like that for a lot of black people. I don't know how it is for white folks, but I'm just going to just make this assumption that some white folks go through the same thing because your parents have this liberal mindset that they rely on the government so much for everything. And the more kids you have, the more your welfare benefits are. And as your kids get older, when they turn 18, depending on what state you are in, when they turn 16 or 18 and they're deemed as an adult and no longer a dependent, and you can't claim them on your taxes anymore, you know, they're no good to you. All of a sudden, they're not your child anymore. So that's just crazy to me. And these black leaders are literally going around preaching the same message. And I've always talked about self-accountability with everybody. And I ain't trying to talk too much sooner because I want you to chime in as well. You know, but I just wanted to get these spills out because when people like, exactly, Phil is like, he's exactly right. They want to destroy the nuclear family. They don't want the fathers in the household. I've been a witness to this. It happened to me and my kid's mother when we were not married, but we were under the same roof. And it was a white man. I'm assuming it was a white guy because he sounded like a white guy who was fat wearing a tuxedo. He called and was telling my kid's mother that if she put me on child support, that they would increase her benefits. And you know how many black women, and I'm just going to specify black women because I don't know every white woman's or every white man's or white family situations, but this is the main reason why a lot of these black women get on welfare, and they love to scream that they are independent. You're not independent. You're dependent literally on your white daddy, your government. That's not independence, my baby. I don't want to hear about how you put your kids first when you got 5 kids by 3 different men and haven't been married to nan one of them. I don't give a damn. It's not cute. It's not sexy. Facts, and if you are really think that you are doing the morally right thing, and this goes for white women too, or anybody else, if you think that you are if you think that you are doing the morally right thing, would you encourage other women and younger girls to live their life the way that you live your life? Would you encourage them to have multiple baby fathers? Encourage them to not marry any of the men that they are having children with? Would you encourage them to do that?
Facts, bro. It's almost like, oh, we have somebody here. Okay. I like her perspective. She used to be a cop, and she is, her and some other people kind of was like, kind of encouraged me to start talking about the community again, because I was like, fuck y'all, bro. This shit is whack.
The black community.
Yeah, man. I started this and I would talk heavily about these topics, like especially mental health in the black community. I think that's a great topic. But this lady, she kind of restored my faith. I'm gonna bring her on the screen. Hi Nova, how you doing?
Girl, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I'm digging the hat.
Hey, you already know. You know, it's been a day, but let me tell you something right now, in case you were to ever doubt. God is not dead,
Nah.
I hear
and
that. I hear that.
and God is present. He saved me today. Sunny, if you go on my page, you'll see them. I was rear-ended just a few hours ago. I was stopped and rear-ended by a vehicle going at least 50 miles an hour. My car spun around. I was on the interstate, almost went over the side of the embankment over the overpass, and I could feel God stopping my car. So let me just tell you, my body is sore, but my mind, look, I'm good. So
I'm
praise
glad you're
God for
good.
that right now, today. Yes. So
I'm
I
glad you're
listened
right.
to a little bit of the conversation. Sweetheart, Sunny, I know you. Hey, Betty. I love you. Brother, what's your name?
This is
My name is
Tonio.
Tonio.
Tonio. Listen, baby, you was dropping some knowledge. You was dropping a whole bunch of knowledge. And let me just say that I will ascertain that you were exactly right. Let me preface it by the fact that we have to remember in the black community, we have so many black men who are waking up and are leaving the Democratic plantation. But we have so many women, black women, who are continuing to be the mammy mules of the community and holding down this belief that the only people that can do something for us are the Democrats. And that is a lie. That is a lie that has been told time and time and time again. Freedom, freedom is offered to us. Freedom has been present for us the entire time. The belief that freedom is given to you by the government, freedom that is given to you by a politician, all of that is bullshit. Freedom belongs to me. I get to live my life as an American, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, and lastly, as a woman who happens to be black.
Yeah.
My race, my color don't have nothing else to do with anybody else's business. That's my culture. I was lucky enough to be born as an American. I thank God for it every single day that I get to live my life freely. So many black women, I dive in that pool all the time because so many black women need to wake up and exit that Democratic plantation.
It's
Yeah.
it's sad is what it is,
Yeah.
because they view this. I seen a video not too long ago. I was on with Marlon and Corey, and they showed a video of the black liberals pitting Kim Klacik and Candace Owens against each other. And I'm like,
Yes.
what is this? What is this? So I watched it, and all of it, everything the woman said in the video is pure speculation. There's no truth to it.
Absolutely.
There's no nothing. It's just her saying whatever. The Candace is mad because the Republican Party snubbed her, and this lady, I can understand her because she doesn't talk like Candace Owens. Candace Owens, she don't have no filter like I don't. It's time for people to stop coddling Black people. It's like, yo, you're fucked up. Period. Point blank.
Right.
The
Well,
community's
let
fucked
me.
up. The culture is fucked up. The men are fucked up. Not all of them, but I'm talking about
Not
a
all
large
of them.
portion.
No. Let me break something down to you guys. There was a study done um, back in 2010, and it was a study on something called microbial DNA. And what they did was they show how trauma is processed through your DNA. Let me explain it to you. So, what they did was they took a group of mice, and they had one group of mice that were fed orchids freely, and the other group that were fed orchids, but every time they ate the orchids, they were shocked horribly, very painfully. And so the mice that were shocked horribly and painfully finally stopped eating or even attempting to go near the orchids. When those mice then gave birth to their children, those little, what are they called, micelets, whatever. So the mice then that they gave birth to feared the orchids, whereas the mice that gave birth to, that they had the orchids freely, the mice that they gave birth to welcomed the orchids and ate them freely without any fear of pain or retribution. What that goes to show is that intense trauma tends to be imprinted in our DNA. Now, what does that mean for us as Black people? This is what that means to us, is that slavery imprints itself up to up to 3 times in a biological realm in genealogy. So for a person suffering through slavery, there will be 3 generations after that, but mainly 2, but sometimes 3, will feel that pain of slavery and live within that impact. Now, let's jump from slavery to Jim Crow. So I'm 47 years old. So that means that I am the ending of the legacy of Jim Crow. My son, who is 11, I gave birth to him later in life because I met a good man and waited and married and then had my child. Boom, there that is. But so my son, though, has no stain of Jim Crow on his DNA. That means that this new generation that's coming out right now, what we're doing to them, and this is where we as Black people have no foresight. What we are doing to this new generation is we are staining them with a false sense of racial inequality. Racial inequality ended in the 60s. 1964. Now, how we got screwed was 1964 started the Civil Rights Bill, right? We wipe out Jim Crow, but then LBJ and his imperfect logic towards the Democrats then implemented the welfare state. And so, with the welfare state breaking down of the fundamental nuclear Black family, and so we imprinted a new stain of inequality, false, completely false now, inequality that we have allowed our children to be inbred into. And what people don't realize is that what you are giving to our children is not the facts of inequality. Inequality does not exist anymore. Where Camel Toe and Beijing Biden messed up at is they tell us that equality and equity mean the same thing. That's another lie. That's not true. Equality is wonderful. That means we all start from the same starting block. Once you are born as an American or become a naturalized citizen, you have the start of every other American there is, and be damned whatever color, race, nationality you come from, because there is no such thing as race. We are all human. That's the first thing. Second thing is equity is fake. Why is it that I can work my behind off. When I was in law enforcement, I worked my ass off. And I achieved the highest levels that I could. So me, I wasn't a cop, I was a dispatcher.
Okay.
I achieved levels where I went around the country and I trained people on tactical dispatching, on emergency dispatching, active shooter situations. I trained cops on how to talk with their dispatchers. I trained dispatchers on how to talk with their cops. I have entertained chiefs in my own home. And you know why? Because I did that. Not because I'm a black woman, not because I'm a woman, not because of anything other than I'm an American citizen and I found something that I loved and I did it well. So to tell me that a woman of my stature can go in and run a white male dominated field and I can tell them where to go, you tell me that the world is not full of equality. Equity can suck my big toe. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
anything. Why should I give you the same space when you didn't work half as hard as I did to get where I get to go?
Mhm.
Facts.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I agree with that message.
I've said this. A lot of the Black community is suffering from Stockholm syndrome. There's a ton of
Yes.
trauma there. And it's trauma that we are inflicting on ourselves when you have children out
Yes.
of wedlock, when you have fathers that don't remain in the home, because you know what? Some dads actually want to be there. And
Yes.
it's the baby mom making it so goddamn hard for them to do it.
Well, and here's
So
the
what?
thing. Here's the thing. If you remember, womanhood in the black community is non-existent. If you go to a urban minority community, to be an actual woman is very difficult because womanhood is not cherished by some of the males. Now, I'm not going to say men. That's a man sitting right over there. But these males don't view that as something that should be cherished. And so they
Mm.
cannot be women. They have to be hard. They have to say, I don't need a man. Well, what does that say to young black girls? Mama says she doesn't need a man. Well, you know what? I don't want a man. If it's going to cause all the problems, but what did our grandmothers teach us? A piece of a man is better than no man at all? You know what I'm saying? How many black women have heard that story?
A lot.
I don't believe it at all. I want a whole, complete man. I want a whole and complete husband. I want masculinity is not
Hmm.
welcomed in our communities because we we love our sons and raise our daughters.
Our
We
daughters.
Yep.
forget that it takes both sexes to raise children. We
Mm.
forget that a father is needed to raise a man. By the grace of God above, I was smart enough to choose the second time a man. And that man takes care of me. And here's why. Because before we got married, we had negotiations, baby. I was like, look, there may come a time in my life where I want to stay at home with my son. Or my child. There may come a time in my life that I need for you to be the provider. And you know what my husband said? He said, I can do that. I can do that. And
Mm.
we also don't open ourselves up to other options. Do I love black love? Absolutely, I love black love. But you know what I love more than black love? Love and builders and people who are willing to come together as a community. If I see a brother with a white woman who is loving him and taking care of him, look, I'm happy for you. I am happy for you that you have a mate because we are not a different race, baby. We all human. All human. You turn out that light, it all looks, tastes, and feel the same. So you you get out and open yourself up to your best option. My first husband was black. And forgive me for saying this, but he was the sorriest human being ever existing on the face of this earth.
No,
My second husband,
it's true, and it's because
look,
of how they're raised. It's
I
and my
think
because
my
of how
father.
they're
husband,
raised.
I think my father can give your husband, your ex husband, a run for his money in terms of being the sorriest sob on the face of the earth.
but you know what though? Look at what you did. You said I'm not going to be like that. And that's what happens to some of us. Some of us wake up and say we're not going to follow in those footsteps, that we follow, we see what they did and make a determination not to do the same thing over again. My mother told me, do not be a single parent. My mother told me, marry first, live your life, go find your enjoyment, go find what brings you joy, go experience that, and then life will come when you want to have a child and you won't be sad. I did not have my son until I was 36 years old. And let me just tell you, my husband is white, South Dakota white, okay? But you
Mhm.
had better believe he is just as passionate about my issues in my community. He loves my people. You know why? Because he sees us as human. He doesn't see himself as white and me as black. He sees us as two children of God that come together. When I tell you that tonight when I got home from this horrific accident, the entire time my husband prayed over me, but I required a man of faith. If a man can love God, that man will know how to love you. And I'm not talking about no fake relationship with God. I'm talking about a man that can go before his knees to Father God and cry and pray over you and to plead the blood of Christ over your family and to cover your home. That is a man of God, not this fake mess we got rolling around here, especially in our communities. So that is my message to sisters. Wise up. No wedding, no womb. That's the way that's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for it. You know, Kenya's a lost soul. I will say
Mm.
that. And the reason I haven't blocked her, the reason I'm like shut the fuck up, because I do that to anybody else. Shut up. You know what I'm talking about. Is because of comments like this.
What she
Being
say?
a
Oh, hold
woman,
up. Look, I can't see with my eyes. Okay.
she
Oh, who
said,
says a woman can't be hard?
nah,
No. Okay, hey. All right, let me adjust this one. Kenya, baby. Look, that's a good question to ask. The reason why a woman can't be hard, let me get to that. I had to take my hat off for this drama. Let me get to that, baby. The reason why a woman can't be hard is because that's how God intended us to be. God intended us. God intended us to be a helpmate. God intended us to be at the right hand of our husband, not your boyfriend and not your man. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, why are you hard? Are you hard because you haven't had good judgment for the men that you've allowed into your life? Are you hard because you don't set the standard of what is supposed to come to you? There is no reason. See, black femininity, baby, black femininity is a quantity that once a real man gets it, he ain't gonna want nothing else. That when a woman comes to you as a woman and loves you as a woman, a man, a real man, don't want nothing else but a real woman to love him. And and you haven't met a real man, because if you had, you would never say that. So the gender roles, this is the thing. Remember this, Ephesians tells us this. Women, submit to your husbands, because it is easy. It is easy for us to love you and not respect you. There are so many people that we say in our lives as a woman, baby, I love you. And we can't give, look, our field of F's is barren. Okay? We don't have not one to offer you. But what else does the verse say? The verse says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church and died for her. Now, you won't understand how your submission is a gift to your husband. Your submission is the greatest gift because you don't have to submit to anybody else but God and him. And when you gift him that, he understands that he married strong. See, strong and hard are not the same thing. That is as far as east is from west. Strong means you can handle your business. Strong means you can hold that house down when he's gone. Strong means that you can raise his children when he's not around. Strong means you know how things work when he's not taking care of it. Submission means that you give him the space he needs to have as a man. Now, my fat Greek wedding said it perfectly. The man is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck. If you are smart, you understand what your submission means. I willingly, for 18 years, have submitted myself willingly to my husband because he knows how to hold it down. He knows how to take care of this house. He covers me and protects me against all hurt, harm, and danger. Because when anything befalls me, he takes it before it comes to me. That's what submission looks like. That's what a real man makes you desire to give him that submission because you love him, and even more than that, you trust him. And then even more than that, he is the builder. When you get a couple together that builds life together, that you figure out how you're going to do it together, and believe me, we've been through the gamut. My husband and I have lived a life of extravagance. We lost everything: home, cars, motorcycles, trips, all that stuff. And you know what? We buckled down. We built not one but two homes together, brand new from the ground. And I am a stay-at-home mother who is happily taking care of my family. And you know, I said, I think I want to go back to work a little bit. He said, okay, baby, you do what you need to do. There you go. That's what you should desire in your life. That's what you should focus on in your life. Focus on your role as a woman. You are not a man. You are not required to act, be, look, and seem like a man. God created you in his own image. You're a woman, baby. Act like it.
I don't know, Kenya. You'll get there. I mean, seriously, I grew up in a single parent home.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to I have an understanding of why my mother was single. It was both of my parents' fault, but where they failed is they showed their dislike and contempt for each other in front of me. So I had preconceived notions about my dad. He also played a huge role in how I viewed him, but I just felt not wanted. I felt like my dad didn't want me. And then I felt like, well, you don't like me because I look like this man. I felt like I grew up feeling that anger, that need to be strong, that need to be masculine. I can do it by myself.
Yeah.
It's a self-image being distorted.
Yeah.
Because I struggled to find out who I was, even as an adult. Who am I?
That is a product of a lot of our environments. I mean, I could very well gone that way. I grew up in a single parent household, but you know, for me, I've always done things differently. I mean, that's why should I walk around with a shaved head and I probably listen to way more crazy music than I should, and I've always walked to the beat of my own drum. And truth be known, at 16, I watched what was happening. I'm old enough to have been taught civics in high school. And it just, none of it made sense to me. Like how can how can my community be so downtrodden, and where's the money going? Why is it that I know that we're throwing so much money to these funds and government funds and all of this, and why is there generational poverty? What is going on? Like, I didn't want to live like that. I like nice things. I like to travel. I like to do all of these things, and I don't ever see anybody around me that looks or feels that way. And so when it came time for me to vote, I didn't vote for Bill Clinton. I voted for Ross Perot because I couldn't stand George H.W. Bush. But I have been a conservative my entire adult life. And because I believe in those fundamental values. I'm a Christian. I love my relationship with God. I don't have a religion, I have a relationship. But I also believe that everybody has the right to believe what they want to. Fundamentally, the Constitution is the best document written besides the Bible. And not very many Black people know it. This is the thing that you live your life from. How can you not pick it up and read it? Yeah, it may be boring, but you know what? At some point, you're going to have to know what the hell it says. And
Right.
and and so that's where I've been my entire life. I've always walked against the grain. Um, and luckily, I've been blessed enough to meet a lot of women who are doing the same. I just wish there were more Black women. Imagine what we could be. Imagine what we could be if we were to turn to our truest self and live in our womanhood every single day and focus on what's best for our lives. Imagine how the Black community would change. Oh my God, it would be something.
I want to touch this too because we're talking about the downfalls and there's so many great parts to the Black community. I just want people to know that it's not all bad. You're
No.
looking at the great parts of the Black community. Black culture is a product, and people buy
Yes.
into it because there is
Yes.
no such thing as Black culture. There's just culture. Yes,
Yes.
we are a ton of different peoples in one spot, but we're all mixed with something. This I reached out because I believe in talking across the board. I asked Tony, I'm like, yo, find us a liberal. Let's sit down and chop it up. I'm respectful. Everybody that watches my show, I'm chill. I'm respectful. I don't pop off until you say some crazy stuff, and then I don't care. But this,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it hurt my feelings, but this really just like this is a problem in the Black community. I was open with this dude, and
Mm,
he took everything we did, everything we talked about. You know, the
Oh
fact that he
wow, I didn't
actually
even see
had
this.
conversations and said, you know, you guys are cool. I respect you. And we're like, look, Leland, we're all cool. We're on different sides of the political spectrum. But he went and took my offer and shitted on me.
oh my
Completely
gosh.
shitted on me.
Oh my gosh.
But I am the intolerant, evil one. I am.
Well, you can't call you racist. So, so that's what they're going to lean towards, you know? I mean, I've had Black women tell me that I hope that the ghost of Breonna Taylor haunts you for the rest of your life. And it's like, you do realize she was killed in a Democratic city by Democratic people. And
Extreme admissiveness to authority.
yeah.
Hold up. See, I didn't see that status. I didn't see that status that he wrote. I did not see that because I didn't unfriend him, but I unfollowed him because I got tired of seeing his Trump hate,
Oh, we're gonna
victimhood.
put. Oh shit! You see, this is crazy. When I was mean and angry and blaming the world for my shit, there was nobody interested in talking to me. But as soon as I woke up and said, "Damn, this is not right," We need to be held accountable here. This don't look right. It's kind of like what Trump's doing. Look, there is corruption here. These people are doing some shady shit over here. Look, y'all, they over here doing this. You get mad at the people trying to actually help. You get mad, bro. The fact that I draw people because people are sick and tired of bullshit.
Right.
I'm just now seeing that he screenshotted the video that I posted when I posed the question. And I didn't make an assumption. And we didn't say anything about making children gay. We just said just don't expose children to sexual content.
It's always worth it. Like, dude.
But you have to understand, I literally am of the belief now, like I'm watching some of the leaders in the Black community, and what they are saying against us. And like we're the only group that literally prays to God. We are the only one that invokes the Spirit of the Lord over our gatherings of our spirits. And what they don't realize is that they are so far gone that their hatred of Trump doesn't even lend them to the understanding and the belief that he could actually do something for us. Now, look at how they went against Ice Cube. Ice Cube was like, look, the Biden team wasn't even willing to talk to me, but Trump's team was actually willing to sit down and have a conversation with me. And now look, I even posted this on my page where Black Lives Matter was like, it's been 32 days since Biden, quote unquote, won the election, and he hasn't had a meeting with us. At what point in time, are you going to understand that your culture is literally being pimped out by those on the left? At what point in time are you going to realize that by you literally holding on to these beliefs, they can trust the fact? You go back and listen to Hillary when she was running for 2016. She went on the Breakfast Club and she talked about keeping hot sauce in her wallet. What a lot of people are her purse. What a lot of people didn't realize is that when they said, "Oh, you're pandering," and she was like, "Yeah, is it working?" She actually asked that question. Is it
she
working?
She did.
Yes.
Well, is it working?
Yes, and this was the same woman who said that Black men are super predators. This is a group of people that the only time that they've ever done anything for Black voices, Black bodies, is to incarcerate us at higher rates. You look at the fact that we don't even know about the judges that we're voting for. Black people are ignorant enough to not even look at the judges that we are voting for. And so, yes. And then, okay, let's back it up here. I think we may be wrong. Let me tell you why we may be wrong in what we think the Black community is doing. When I don't know if you guys watched this or not, but when they talked about the voter fraud in Michigan, the one thing that this woman, Dr. Turner, said was that 71% of the vote is skewed in Detroit. Now, that's because they're not allowed to open up those ballot boxes. So let me ask you this. Imagine 71% of the vote is skewed and wrong. Imagine for the last 30 years, we could have been voting Republican. We could have been voting conservative or libertarian. I don't think the masses of Black people are as ignorant as we think they are. I think what has happened is these Democratic strongholds for at least the past 20 years since Dominion voting has been around. I think that Dominion voting has kept literally their knee on our neck. I don't think that the Black vote has equated to very much in our world right now. I think that the loud voices, and you have to realize, Cindy, you are a loud voice on the right, but there are many that are loud on the left. But I don't think the constituents are as ignorant as we think they are. Once we're able to break into those ballot boxes and we're able to get where we need to go, I think there are more black conservatives than we even realize. The problem is we can't say it. Because when we say it, what happens to you, what happens to us is literally we become cannon fodder for the left.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking on that, darling, I need to get going. But you asked me to pop in for you. I popped in for you. You keep rocking it out, girl. Keep steady, keep going. Just know that you have got thousands of us behind you that are supporting you in every way that you need. And your audience is proof that people are listening. I watch how many people listen to you, and your truth is undeniable. Do not stop.
Thank you. Thank you for coming
Yes,
on. We'll have you on
indeed. Yes,
again. Thank
indeed.
you.
Thank you for coming, Miss Nova.
Absolutely.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
all the gems that you just spilled. I appreciate all of them.
God bless you guys. God keep you, keep his hedge around you, and everybody that's listening, open your eyes. These people actually care about you and love you and want to see us succeed. Be blessed, you guys.
Thank you. I love her. She's always dropping gems. I, Here, we'll end with this because we've been on here an hour. The difference with
Yeah.
what we're doing is the hate
Mhm.
from the other side is actually happening and it's real. It's real. When I get on here and I say
Yeah.
I've been ostracized from the people that look just like me, Tonio knows we've been ostracized from the community. You just saw a liberal completely just try to destroy everything that I built here by going and spreading straight up lies. Lies.
You know, it's like I want to address that so bad.
Go ahead, man. You got the floor. And then we'll end when you finish up. Go ahead, man.
Leland is part of the reason why there are so many rape victims in the black community. He's part of the reason. And I know it's a bold statement to make, but the thinking that he has when the whole entire point of that discussion that we had was to simply not sexualize children. And he take it and run with it as if we are saying that that's going to turn them gay. And like the point is that don't disrupt the innocence of a child's mind with sexual images, whether it be subliminal or direct. And as a grown person, if you are aware that something is not right, would you still put it in front of that child when you know that there is something that symbolizes a dildo, a man kissing a man, a woman having sex with a man? So if I have this box, right? And if I seen a symbol on this box and it obviously made out of something, because I'm just going to assume the person that made the box is an adult and that they are an artist of some kind. So they pay attention to details. They are fully aware of the images that they are drawn or the images that they are going for, but they know the intent of the image, but what it looks like to the naked eye. As a grown person, as an adult, if you are fully aware of that, would you put it in front of a child? And his argument is that it's not going to turn them gay. That's not the fucking point. The point is that you are literally fucking up their subconscious right now. And if it's repetitive and you constantly do this to children, think about it. That's the reason why we have the characteristics that we have right now, why we think the way we think, why we fear some things, because of our subconscious mind, the things that we've been through in our life. You might not like the taste of a certain food, and you don't know why you don't like it, but you just don't like it for some reason. Probably because something happened back to when the time where you couldn't remember anything yet. Because I think our memories start kicking in around the age of 3 or 4 for some people, most people. But some reason like you just don't like cake. And you just don't know why. Because subconsciously something happened to you way back when that affected you to this day. And that's just an example. It's not an extreme example, but it's just an example. But this falls in line with people who are sexual, who are molested, such as Leland, who owned up to it. And now we know why he thinks the way he thinks. Something had to happen to you, bro, because you got a fucking sick mentality.
Yep.
Why do you argue don't sexualize kids' minds? Why is that even a debate?
Oh, Lord. We got feedback. So if you have something in the background, I don't know. I don't know if he can hear us either.
I see him, but he ain't saying nothing. What's up, Larry? Finally got on. Brave enough. That's what's up. Oh, his connection worse than mine.
Yeah. Come back, man. You're going to have to come back and restart because I can't hear you, or you're just not talking 1 or 2.
I think he got his phone connected to his Bluetooth and his speakers in his car.
Can you hear me?
He hopped off. All I'm going to say is when you expose children to things, you expand their horizons. Like when a kid sees a pool for the first time and they get in water, they want to go play in the water because it's fun. Mommy, can we go to the pool? Okay. When a child is disturbed in that way, where it's mentally scarring, you don't ever forget it. You just learn to just live with it and say, you know what? That shit was fucked up and that person was wrong. But that mental scar, that don't go nowhere. I'm telling you, I went through it. It's very hard to, it just fucks you mentally. That's like the best way I can put it. It fucks you mentally. You're confused about things that you shouldn't even be thinking about. And the fact that he was okay with that, I just lost it. I couldn't.
Because it's literally putting our children in harm's way. Literally.
Yeah.
And I don't think he understands it, or maybe he does it, but think it's totally fine. That's a problem, bruh. You are a borderline pedophile. I'm scared for your children. You're a borderline pedophile, bruh. If you look at any studies of people who molest children, right? All of those traits that Leland we're talking about, all of those things that he was agreeing with, that he's okay with, those are the same things that pedophiles are okay with. And they try to justify that. And that's what Blake kind of touched on, not in a direct sense, but that's what he was touching on as well. In terms of that's what the LGBT community is trying to push onto people. They're trying to force it down your throat. And if you see something so many times, if it's repetitive, you would then accept it as truth. And that's not the case. It's just like a commercial. When you constantly see the commercial all the time, you're gonna get curious and then end up buying the product. If you see it enough times.
They use specific colors to draw you in.
Exactly. These people know what the fuck they are doing.
He was laughing at me. Like I was bawling. It hurt so bad to sit here and watch this grown ass man like okay this, and I was like, it hurt me so bad that I was going off crying like what the fuck, you know?
See, Suni, and I don't want to see you crying like that because I know you a good woman, but I never do this. but this is a part of my hypocritical mindset that I have, because apparently by default I'm a part of this black cult, not black culture, but black cult. So I'm gonna be a hypocrite for a second, but I'm gonna need everybody that's watching, because I see right now it's about 60 people watching. Y'all seen that screenshot that she put up of this guy? Our entire point was don't sexualize the mind of children. That's it. His name is Leland Benford. So I would need all of you guys to do search his name on YouTube, go to his comment section on those posts and tear his ass up, especially if you are a parent. And I notice this is your show, and I ain't trying to start no riot like I'm a liberal or anything like that. I ain't trying to start no riot, but this shit is serious. It is. I work with kids in the film industry, right? I mentor children. I mentor young actors, teenagers, young folks. Mm-hmm. The little girl that played Lola on Empire, I was the first director that she ever worked for, and I'm still cool with her to this day. She actually lived 10 minutes away from me. Her family does. I take this shit seriously. I'm the father of 2 little girls, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. Okay. I have multiple nieces. I have multiple nephews that are all under the age of 13. I take this shit seriously. People like Leland he is almost like the Pied Piper of this shit. You could look at the live. He literally said, I will expose kids, my nieces and nephews, to homosexual behavior so that they don't have to be prejudiced to these people. And I told him, you don't display sexual behaviors in front of children in order for them to respect somebody. They respect somebody based off what you teach them directly, the conversation that you have with them. I don't know what his white mama was teaching him, but I could tell his black daddy wasn't nowhere to be found, although he was a pastor. He was a pastor for 35 years, but how the hell did you get molested, Leland? Maybe you need some therapy, bro. I hope he's watching right now, but you definitely need some help. Those brothers that was on, Marlon and Corey, they was not wrong for what they said to you, because they take this shit seriously. They fathers. They don't play about their fucking kids. When a black man cares, damn it, he cares. He could be a lot more dangerous than a woman when it comes down to his kids. And also, y'all got to understand this about Leland. Leland doesn't have any children himself. Him and his wife does not have children. I feel sorry for his children before they're even born. I don't know what his wife's condition is. Maybe she can't have children. I don't know how long they be married. But the shit that she supports, that her fucking husband says, they are dangerous and a detriment to the black community. They are literally trying to sabotage the lives of children, their nieces and nephews. This shit is serious, y'all. Almost every woman in my family has been molested by another person in our family. Men. Let me just be more specific. Men. I don't take this shit lightly. And the thing is, I got Sonny's blessings to take part of the interview out and put it out there, because I feel like these type of things would bring more attention to her show, and it'll bring more awareness to the situation that's at hand. But when I see this brother screenshot and not even post the video, but just screenshot the caption with a question mark at the end of it, because I want to know, is this okay to a lot of people? I didn't make I'm very conscious when I put my titles or when I put captions on things, because I want the floor to be open to everybody. This shit is serious, y'all. Y'all wonder why trafficking is going on? Y'all wonder why these kids is being more sexualized than ever? You want to know why you see this shit on Disney, Cartoon Network, or wherever the fuck else you see it? This is the reason why, because of people like Leland. I thought this brother was a lot smarter.
No.
But the fact he's making fun of this shit.
Damn, he's freezing. No.
No, I'll be waiting for it to come back.
Okay.
I'll be looking at it. But the fact that he are sexualizing these children like this and making it seem like it's okay, that is a problem. So if y'all could find his page, Leland Benford, tear his ass up. Since he want to show this shit to all his peoples and tag his family members and people who got that sick ass mentality.
This is a problem, Kenya. This is not a Democrat or Republican thing, and nobody ever brought up political affiliations.
It has nothing to do with politics.
This is a problem. You just heard us say a grown man is okay with showing sexual subliminal images to a kid, and you completely blocked that part out and said, let me guess, it's Democrats' fault. So it's people like you as well.
Yeah,
you don't even take sexual abuse to a child serious. It's sexual abuse. It's disgusting.
In Kenya, you have a whole child in your profile picture. and you don't take this shit seriously? You think it's a political issue? It's a moral issue. It's a household issue. What the fuck is wrong with these people, Sunni?
Wow, bro.
Are we crazy? Are we crazy or something? Or like, is it us?
Don't put words in my mouth. That's literally what you said. And let me guess, it's Democrats' fault. I didn't put those words in your mouth.
Yeah.
They are liberals. These people that are speaking are liberals. This is how we identify each other now because of the Democrats. You have to put that out there. I want people to not associate with them at all. Like, you're weird, dude. We're talking about children. And yes, liberals seem to be okay with the shit. That man is a liberal. You should be off that nasty fucker was on here saying the shit was okay. That's what should piss you off even more. But you're so concerned about fucking parties, bro. That shit is weird. This is why I go so hard and do what I do. I got 3 kids. I am fighting for a world that doesn't have this perversion, that doesn't have these adults that are okay with this stuff. Oh, it's not a big deal. Kids don't know what it is. So let me just go ahead and put it on anyway. Okay.
Hey, y'all, and you wonder why it's so much irresponsible sexual behavior in the Black community. All the people my age were sexualized when they were young and before me. That's the reason why a lot of y'all mamas had y'all when she was under the age of 20, when she was 19, 18 years old, probably still in high school. This is the reason why, because of people like Leland. And people like y'all who think that it's a political issue.
All I know is I can give 2 craps about parties right now. I can care less about a color. I'm talking about kids and grown adults that are okay with showing these images. And he just so happens to be a liberal. Are there conservative disgusting pervs? Absolutely. But we're talking about this one that came on my show. And the only reason why I'm spending so much time talking about him is because he got a whole bunch of time to speak about what I do.
Right.
And what I was doing, like my intentions behind something. That's, first of all, that's defamation of character. If I wanted to, bro, I could sue the shit out of you.
This dude, I just made a comment on his post, and I said the entire point is not to expose children to sexual acts, whether it be subliminal or direct, whether it be gay or straight. Why would anyone argue that? And he put a laugh emoji on it. How is that not the behavior of a pedophile?
Listen, welcome to the hot mic. This is what happens. It's called hot mic for a reason. I talk about these uncomfortable conversations, these uncomfortable topics, because they need to be talked about. And I'm sorry, as far as I'm concerned, I'm exposing pedophiles in the making, whether they did it or they gonna do it.
Let's expose these sons of bitches. Let's expose them all.
Nasty. It's nasty, bro. And you're nasty. Anybody, you're nasty. Period, point blank.
This is why nobody watches my children but me and their mother.
There you go. This is why. And nobody, listen, it took me forever to even let my mother-in-law watch my kids. That is how strict and like, nah, I don't want my kids around any and everybody. And even if you're around somebody, I would have never known that about Leland had we not had that conversation. Never. 100% defending. Look, I'm about to go over to Leland's page. I'm a little bored.
I swear to God, I've been like, you know what's crazy, Soon, is that we didn't even want to touch on that. We're supposed to talk about something totally different. But as soon as you open up your phone and you get a notification, you seeing that this motherfucker sit up just talking shit about you while you in the middle of a show. And I was like, we left it alone. And it's not like it's some name calling shit that's going on. You are literally talking about sexualizing children and laughing at it like it's funny. You know what? Hey, did you hear about the movie Cuties?
Yes. I got rid of Netflix because of that.
I bet you that's Leland's favorite movie.
Oh my God.
Me personally, I have no desire to see it. To see it, especially what I heard about. I don't give a fuck what the storyline. Oh, it's ways to go about it without actually showing and displaying little girls doing sexual dance moves like that. It's other ways to tell the story and get your fucking point across. I'm a filmmaker and a screenwriter. Leland is too, but I guarantee you, Cuties is his favorite movie. Fucking perverted.
They had to audition for that. They had to audition for that.
Grown ass people put that together, not children. And you know who did it? A black feminist woman from the UK, from France, I believe.
Yep, she's from France.
Thick ass motherfuckers, man.
Welcome to the hot mic. We're gonna have Tonio back. Next time we come back, bro, it's got to be on a lighter note. I swear.
We gonna try, but when motherfuckers like Lily, it's hard. I invited this brother because I thought he was gonna drop some gems, make some sense. You know what? I think we need to get Cash, Corey, Marlon, you, and me. We all need to get on the same podcast. Possibly invite Leland back to defend himself, just so he can expose the perverted nature that he has in his mind. And we can just sit there and watch this motherfucker be the downfall of his own image. Because he claims to be a filmmaker from Atlanta. He's from Detroit, just like me, but he lives in Atlanta. Well, I say we invite his ass on so he can defend himself, but just let this motherfucker talk and let him destroy his own life. That's what I say. That's what I say.
I'm down.
Because I know Cash ain't gonna sit there and just let that motherfucker keep talking and just say what the fuck he want to say.
No,
you know, and Marlon not either. That's why I say get those brothers on, man.
We'll have to come back after Christmas. You know, we maybe we should do something for New Year's. That'd be fun. Everybody locked in the house anyway.
Yeah. But you know, in the black coat, you know, Negroes is gonna find a reason to go outside and start shooting anyway. So I'd rather be in the house. Shit.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Woo! This is a good show. This is actually a therapeutic because other people get to. I try to be as relatable as possible. All right. I'm not gonna give you anything fake. I'm gonna bring you news. I'm gonna give you my common sense approach. And that's it. I'm going to keep it a buck, a band all the time. So like it, love it, hate it. This is Hot Mike. I'm Suni. This is my guest, Tonio. We'll be back. It's actually Christmas Eve here. So Merry Christmas Eve, guys. Happy Christmas Eve. And I hope you guys have a great night.